Welcome to Travel Chat. This week, I was thrilled to be able to chat with one of Must Love Travel's advisors, Jerren, about her recent vacation to the Universal Orlando Resort. We talked about the crowds, dining, of course, how to get on Hagrid's, and her stay in one of the brand new two-bedroom suites at Universal's Endless Summer Resort. Before we dig in to her chat, here's a little sneak peek at those two-bedroom suites. Those suites are super cool and very affordable. Check out all that Jaren had to share, including her opinion of the suites and how they were slightly different than what she expected. Hey Jaren, how are you?
Jenny, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for chatting. I'm excited to hear about your recent stay at Universal.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
excited to tell you a lot about it.
yeah, so when were you there? It was just a few weeks ago, right? The end of October?
Correct. Yep, last week of October.
Awesome, awesome. And I know you stayed at one of the newer resorts, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But talk to me a little bit about the parks, the resort in general. What's going on over there? How are things looking?
Well, we had an awesome time. We were super excited to experience Universal again and kind of see how things were going. Um, yeah, the parks were great. We had a 4-day park hopper, so we were able to do both the main theme parks and the newer water park, which we loved. Um, yeah, we did really recognize that there was a big difference in crowds on our weekday visits versus our weekend visits. So I think
Okay.
that's a really important thing to note for sure. On a side note to that, though, I will say that taking advantage of their extra hours, and Universal did add extra early hours in addition to what they already had for guests staying on property. So we were able to go in early and do several things that ended up later in the day being really long wait times.
So would one of those things be Hagrid's? Because that's on everyone wants to know what's the best way to get on Hagrid's?
Yes, absolutely. We had 7 o'clock early hours. We got there, went straight there, of course, which we knew was everybody else's plan as well. I was kind of resigning myself to the fact that it would probably be like an hour or plus wait even with that. But we actually only waited, I think, 15 minutes. And
Awesome.
nobody's lying when they say it is literally one of the best rides ever.
Oh, I haven't been on it yet, so I'm so jealous. I can't wait. So, how about dining? I know you mentioned to me earlier that your family did a lot of reservations, and I'm sure a lot of people watching would compare it to Disney, where you have to book super early. But what was your experience right now in terms of dining reservations and availability?
Yeah, sure. So, one of the things that we noticed or that I loved that's really big difference than Disney. Anybody that's been to Disney or knows about it, you do your dining reservations way, way ahead. And we were able to get some pretty cool places like day of or even a couple days before, which was amazing. The other thing that we really loved about it, and I don't think we missed any of our dining reservations. I don't think anybody ever plans to do that.
Yeah.
But at Universal, they don't have a cancellation fee per se. So if you
Okay.
cancel day of, or if you're running late or the baby's exhausted and you don't show up, you're not going to get the fee for canceling. So that's a perk to me.
That is huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. How about in terms of their COVID policies and cleanliness, health and safety measures, temperature checks? What were your thoughts or experiences with some of that?
Yeah, you can definitely see that they're following certain policies to keep everybody safe. When you enter your hotel or any park, any place on property, they do temperature checks the first time, and then they give you a colored bracelet for the day, which is actually
Okay.
super cool because now you're done. So when we go into the hotel or we go down to the lobby in the morning, We'd do a quick temperature check, never a line to wait to do that. We'd get our bracelet. And then when you get to the park, we literally walked in and out of the parks. There was no long wait to have to do another temperature check because you already had that done.
Awesome. And same thing over at City Walk or
Mm-hmm.
any other resorts if you wanted to go into. You're
Right.
you're good for the day.
You're good for the day.
That's awesome. That's really,
Yes.
really cool.
Yeah. And they are doing hand sanitizer. They do have some stations, but they actually have, cast or employees at each ride right before you're going to get on the ride to do hand sanitizer right there. So that was another thing where you could really tell that they were trying to keep people using that. You didn't really have a choice. You had to use hand sanitizer. Yeah.
Are
So
they still social distancing in the lines with like
they are
charging the 6 feet? Yeah.
Yep. So they've got it marked off, and we observed like we did, at other places that people are pretty aware and respectful of that. I think people are just happy to be out in the world and trying to keep it that way. So yeah, we had no worries with that at all.
Awesome. Well, so let's talk about the resort you stayed at. I'm really excited to hear about it. So this is Universal's newest resort, Endless Summer, right? Which is split into two sides. So there's Surfside and Dockside.
Correct.
And I'm really excited to hear your experience being a guest there because literally these resorts just opened, I want to say a year ago.
Yeah, I don't need, or less even.
Or less, less. So this is really new. So I know you stayed at Surfside. So talk to me a bit about your thoughts and your experiences being a guest there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were really excited to just experience it to start with because it's a newer property. Also because it's a property that offers different options for larger families or families that feel like they need more space. I only have 2 kiddos, but my kids are 20 and 14. So any extra space that we can get when we travel together, we have come to cherish. So that is why we chose to do the 2-bedroom there. And my experience with that was great. It's a beautiful property. Obviously it's brand new or pretty new, clean. The pool is fun. There's not a lot of like extra, fancy stuff at the pool.
No,
but
not like a big water slide or those type. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be more like just a big, large pool, and there is a bar area back behind it for adults, and of course they supply the towels, and the employees were coming around cleaning anytime anybody left a chair or left the pool area. So but yeah, back to that 2-bedroom, we did decide to go ahead and try that, just based on the space. I was a little surprised when we entered because I was under kind of the thought when I thought 2-bedroom, I think a lot of people think 2, definite separate spaces with doors to enter each. This was a lot of space, but it was really more in my mind, a 1-bedroom and then your big open area with the kind of the dining and the mini kitchen area. So,
okay. So that's where the bedding was considered one of the bedrooms, and then there was a separate bedroom.
Correct. Yes.
Right. How many bathrooms were in the 2-bedroom?
So there is only 1 bathroom.
Okay.
So the nice thing, it is a split. So your double sink and your counter space and all of that, thankfully was separate. So somebody can be getting ready out there while somebody else is, using the restroom area or showering.
Okay.
So that's nice, for sure. And there is a tub, I know that's important for families with kiddos.
Yep.
So that was nice too. And it does offer you a lot more space than a standard room would for, they had like a picnic table area where you could sit 6 people around it if you were eating. There's a small coffee pot. There's actually a really nice size fridge. It's still considered a mini fridge, but it's bigger than what you would think of as a mini fridge.
Sure.
So we were able to put some groceries and lots of stuff in there. There's a microwave, which is handy.
That's very good. Yeah.
So yeah, overall our experience was great. I think the biggest thing again is just knowing ahead of time that if you're booking that 2-bedroom, that you really are gonna have one bigger space with the 2 beds and then 1 bed in that back bedroom that's
Gotcha.
actually closed off.
So if someone maybe, and I know, in my mind, a 2-bedroom I think of over at Disney would be like a 2-bedroom villa at one of the DVC resorts where you have like your living kitchen area and then 2 separate bedrooms. And so that's really good to know that you don't have that common space and then 2 separate bedrooms. It's like,
Right.
it's kind of like 2 rooms. One's a little cooler with the kitchenette just linked together.
Yeah. It
Okay.
is basically like a studio space and then a
Gotcha.
bedroom. So
Okay.
yeah, that's
That's
how
so
I
amazing because I heard the pricing
Yes.
is really good. I mean, I think if I understand correctly, these price like 300 a night or less, which is
Yeah.
crazy good. That's a incredible value.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it when we booked it. And we did a package, so we got an even better
Yeah.
deal than that. I was literally like looking it over, several times, like, how could this be? Because we knew,
Sure.
we knew the type of space we could typically get for that price point. And this is a lot more space for that price point. And if you do packages with Universal, you can get some really, really incredible deals.
Yeah. Yeah. They give you discounts on the room and then amazing ticket deals and good stuff. How about for Surfside, the transportation? Because I know a lot of folks are, they like to stay on one of the resorts that has water taxi access to the parks. And if you look at a map, Endless Summer is not far, as the crow flies, but you do have to take a bus to the park. So how did that go for your family? Did you feel like you were farther away or, anything to do with that?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a bus drive, but honestly, we were hugely impressed with the transportation. Primary thing being that I don't recall ever waiting for a bus. I mean, maybe one time for 3-4 minutes,
Oh my
but
God.
it seemed like every time we walked out of our hotel, every time we left the parks, there was a bus either waiting there or it was there within a couple minutes. And they are still social distancing on the buses. So and again, I'm only assuming must be just running a lot of them for that convenience factor, but that's huge for anybody that's trying to get there in the morning. Many of us have been there before where we're waiting in a line of 100 people.
Yeah.
Bus transportation, and stressing because we want to get into that park early. So that wasn't an issue. At night when you're exhausted, you've been having a whole day or you ate dinner late, again, bus right there. It was like, this is fantastic.
That's awesome. That's a huge perk.
Yes.
And how about for dining? I know they have like a quick service. Did you guys eat there at all, or what was your thoughts on their dining option?
Yeah, so we did dine there several times in the morning for like quick breakfast. It's not a huge space, but honestly, it was never overly crowded in the space. Part of that reasoning might be because they also have a Starbucks in the hotel right next door.
Well, forget everything.
I know, right? I told my husband before we went, I'm like, you're going to love this place. There's a Starbucks. He's like, okay, sold. But
my brain, I'm like, I have to remember this next time I go to
I know. So yeah, so there's a Starbucks right there. So perhaps that cuts down a little bit on the crowd. But yeah, the few times we went in there, the several times for breakfast, we went in there several times to, grab snacks and stuff. And we also did pizza order out one night, which was crazy quick. I think they came in less than 30 minutes with like 2 pizzas and huge salads, which, usually you're waiting on room service a lot longer than that. Yeah. So we were impressed with the ease of the quick service on property. Definitely.
That's great. I didn't know about the pizza. That's like, how smart for after a long day at the park and you don't want to go out sometimes. You just want to like go chill in your room and order pizza. So that's great.
Yeah, it was a good experience for sure.
Good. Well, thank you so much, Jerren. It's always a pleasure chatting with you, and thanks for sharing your experience at Universal with us this week.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. We had an awesome time. Definitely an incredible option. So we'll be back again.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you, Jerren, for chatting about your Universal Orlando vacation. I can see that your family had a fantastic time. And thanks to all of you for taking the time to check out this week's Travel Chat. We're excited to bring you information and updates as more destinations continue to welcome back travelers.